I've been homeless since I was about 15. So
Now I like to go pre-everything changed. I don't know if you still have the memories.
That's a long time ago, dude. Okay.
Do you remember your first meeting? Because I think you were in a band called Diamond Lie.
I was in a band called Diamond Lie.
But I think he was in it too.
No.
Then my information is incorrect.
It's
on the
wrong.
internet.
Well, it's kind of, you know,
can't believe everything on the interweb.
this is true. No, we all come from like little kind of little suburbs, I guess, of around Seattle, and I was the furthest south. I was from Tacoma. I had a band called Diamond Lie, and at that particular time, Layne had a version of this, you know, using the name Alice in Chains. It was spelled a little differently, and it was a, you know, completely different band. And Sean and Mike Starr were playing, I think, jamming together.
Yeah.
And I actually ended up the first guy I met Layne when he played the Tacoma Little Theater in Tacoma. So I met him first, but I actually played with Mike Starr first in a really crappy band called Gypsy Rose in Burien. My mother had just passed away, and I didn't really have any place to stay, and I kind of was done with Tacoma anyway. So I met this guy, Tim Branham, and he invited me to come up and hang with him, and I stayed in his basement for about a week, and Mike Starr came over, and we were jamming, and then we both got kicked out after a week. So then I didn't see Mike again until I met Layne again at a house party kind of recently, or pretty much right after that. And he kind of had heard about my situation, and I didn't really have a place to live or anything, and so he invited me up to Ballard, where he lived at this place called the Music Bank, which was fucking awesome. I mean, for a bunch of young kids, it was a 24-hour rehearsal hall, 50 rooms, and just something going on all the time, you know. And he was playing in his band, and I lived in his rehearsal room, and he knew I was trying to get a band together, and he'd met Sean about a year ago, or a year before that, at like Alki Beach or something like that.
Where was it?
Just in Seattle, this place called the Alki. I was drifting around too with nowhere to live, and ran
because you said in our previous interview that you were homeless too before.
And then
we were all kind of drifting around.
Yeah, I've been homeless since I was about 15. So, and I met Layne, and we exchanged information. I mean, there was no way to get a hold of each other, but somehow he remembered me, and
he had a piece of paper with your number on it.
Yeah, and then when somebody's number. I didn't have a phone.
Probably Melinda's or something.
Yeah, my girlfriend or something, who was Mike Starr's sister, and Jerry, I guess, was looking to put a band together, and Layne said, "Oh, this drummer dude seems cool. Call him." Mm-hmm. So Jerry called my girlfriend at the time, and me and her went down.
That's right, it was Melinda.
Yeah, it was Melinda's number. And you
yeah.
called her, and then we went down to the Music Bank, and I listened to some of your demos and stuff. You had like a headband at one of those, kind of like a thing like...
it's like a gold
like
lame.
like Ian Astbury wore or something on. And I came down and we listened to a couple tunes, and I thought it was pretty cool, and we kind of feeling each other out, and as I was sitting there, he said something like, "Oh, you know, we need a bass player to jam with. I jammed with this guy Mike Starr a year or so ago. He seemed like kind of a cool dude." And I was like, "That's weird, because this is his sister, and I've been in bands with Mike on and off since we were 11 or 12 or something."
Yeah.
He's like, "Wow, that's weird." So I called Mike, and Mike either came down that night or the next day, and we came back, and we got in a room and borrowed some gear and jammed.
And Layne was playing with another band, but he came in to jam with us too, like after we'd been kind of playing together for...
So that was the first actual rehearsal?
Yeah, there was no rehearsal. We didn't have any songs, but I think we were playing like... We were jamming on things like, "My baby loves the hanky-panky," just jamming on some shit like that for some fucking reason. Yeah, as we were doing that, a promoter guy was...
I think that was fucking Starr's idea, actually, that
or
jam.
something, but we were jamming on some stupid shit like that, and some guy that's a promoter for some shows was cruising around through the hallway looking for bands to play, and heard us jamming in this room, and all these people were in there hanging out, kind of a party thing, and I think they asked if we could, hey, what's the name of the band? Could you play? You know, and we didn't really have a band. We were like, yeah, totally. Can you play a half hour, 40 minutes? Sure. A bunch of songs. We didn't have any songs or anything.
Yeah.
And so we lied and said we could, and then we got a gig, and we went there and.
Yeah, we did a gig within a week or two of us being like even just jamming together, and I think where the confusion comes with the Diamond Lie thing is like we really didn't have a name to call ourselves, so we like at every gig we would call ourselves something else, and I think we used that name.
What name did you have?
Well, we used my band name for a couple of gigs, and then nobody was really into that, including me, and so I think Sean might have came up with fuck. He wanted to fuck the
name of the band.
Yeah,
for unlawful carnal.
So we made stickers, you know, and we put them on condoms. It said "fuck the band" and put them on condoms. And
that didn't last long because nobody would put your flyers up or anywhere,
Right.
you know. And
But
we'd go and put them up, and then and Layne was still playing with his other band and a couple other sort of things.
Yeah.
And we were trying to lure him into, you know, as we were starting to think, well, this is pretty cool. Maybe we could really do something here.
Yeah. We all really dug him, but he kind of had like a little bit of an established thing, but it was kind of coming to the end.
How come? Oh, I mean his band. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of. I think he was just kind of. It was just kind of. They'd had their run or whatever of what it was going to be, and it was kind of falling apart a little bit. I don't think he was quite that interested in it anymore, and he was jamming with some other guys that was kind of more like a. Kind of almost like a kind of an industrial dance kind of thing almost,
like a Cure type thing.
Yeah, so he made a deal with me because they needed another guitar player for this band. He's like, well, if you play guitar with me in this thing, then I'll jam with you guys in your thing. So we were kind of double dutying it there until both of those things shit the bed, and we were just like, fuck, man, quit this, you know. I mean, we all. He was just such a cool fucking guy, and his voice was just amazing, and we knew we wanted to be in a band with him right off the bat. So it was just a period of time of kind of like waiting him out, and then that didn't seem to work. So we basically told him, okay, we're going to get a new singer. So we started auditioning singers in his rehearsal room, and we just brought in the shittiest guys we could find. The
worst singers we could find. We'd bring them in and have them sing, and then he'd be coming in and out. He's just like, oh, God. Yeah. I kept saying, what are you guys doing? We go, oh, no, that guy wasn't that bad.
It wasn't too bad. I kind of like that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. And we were purposely doing that, and then it just got, after about 3 guys that were just so horrendous, he came in and he was like, okay, fuck that, I'm joining, let's just do this thing, I'll quit the other bands. Because, you know, we were really young, you know, so he'd grown up and went to school with the other guys in his band, and he felt really, you know, they were friends, but it kind of...
Was it good then? Was it good, the band?
Huh?
Was the band good, or...?
Yeah, sure they were.
It was good. It was a real kind of glam band, and they were good at what they did. But I think it was just kind of came to an end, and it was, you know, they grew up together, so it was really hard to, you know, to leave that. And
I think the final straw was we auditioned a male stripper.
Nona.
We auditioned a red-headed male stripper who was just terrible. Yeah. And that was it. And he's like, okay, fuck it. I can't let you guys play with these fucking clowns. I'll fucking join the band, and that was it.